Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Honey. You can call me Miss Honey. So before we start our lesson today, I'm going to ask you one simple question. So this question is, what comes into your mind when you look at these pictures? So I'm going to show you a few pictures here. These two pictures. So what do you think about these two pictures? Who would like to become a volunteer to answer this? Anyone? You can just raise your hand. Anyone would like to? So I'm just going to choose someone then if there's no volunteer. Okay, so I want to call, how about Devi?
Yes.
So what do you think about these two pictures? You can just say anything that comes into your mind, anything.
Happy.
Yes, and then what about the second picture?
Depressing.
Depression, okay. Very good. Okay, now next we have this another two pictures. So what do you think about this? Who would like to answer this? Who want to become a volunteer? Anyone? You can just raise your hand. It's okay, don't be shy. Okay, let me just point. Okay, Bregas.
Sick and healthy people. Yeah, sick and healthy.
Sick and healthy. Okay, very good. And next, we have another pictures again. Two pictures, as you can see. So, what do you think about this? Okay, Diram.
Poor and rich picture.
Okay, very good. Next, how about this one? Okay,
Fat and slim.
very good, very nice. And how about this? Yes?
Cold and hot.
Okay, very good. Okay, so all of you had answered the questions correctly. You can see this happy, sad, and then this one is sick, and it shows healthy. You can see this woman looks very healthy, isn't that right? There's a bowl of, I don't know what that is, probably salad, probably. And this one is poor, so it depicts rich, and this one depicts fat and thin, and this one cold and hot. You are all very smart students, okay? So, cold, hot, fat, thin, poor, rich, sick, healthy, happy, sad. Now, what do you think about those words? What comes into your mind when you listen to those words? Anyone have any idea, perhaps? Is it adjectives, probably, or adverbs, or nouns?
Comparison.
Yes?
Comparison.
Comparison? Well, not really. Okay, let me just tell you. So those are adjectives, okay? So anyone knows what adjective is? Okay, so adjectives basically is a word that describes the noun. Okay, so for example, I want to say this table is small. So the adjective is small. It describes the noun, the table. So I say the table is small, okay? Okay, now for today's lesson, I'm going to teach you degrees of comparison. Okay, we will start from the definition. What is degree of comparison? So degrees of comparisons are adjectives that change form and used to compare one thing or person to another. So we have three types of degrees of comparison. We have positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. We'll start from the positive degree first. Okay, so to make it simple, the positive degree of an adjective in comparison is the adjective in its simple form. It offers no comparison as it describes a person or a thing, okay? So remember that it offers no comparison and it only describes a person or a thing. I'll give you an example. So this mango is sweet. You can see from this sentence that it is not comparing anything. It only describes that mango is sweet. Now, do you understand from that? Okay, very good. So remember, I will repeat once again, positive degree, don't compare anything, okay? So it only describes it. So it only describes the mango. It describes that the mango is sweet. Now, we go to comparative degree. So the comparative degree of an adjective in degrees of comparison denotes the higher degree of the quality than the positive. It is used to compare two things. Now, in positive degree, it compares nothing, and in comparative degree, it compares two things. Just remember that. Now, this is the example. Mango is sweeter than apple. Okay? Now, can you tell me how many things that are being compared in the sentence?
Nothing.
Okay, that's correct. Very smart, Brigas. Yes, mango is sweeter than apple. They are comparing two things, mango and apple. So we say it's comparative degree, okay? And then we go to superlative degree. In the superlative degree conveys the highest quality of a person or a thing. It is used when more than two people or things are compared. So this one, superlative degree, it compares more than two things or people, okay? So for example, mango is the sweetest fruit. So in here, it compares more than two. You can see that mango is being compared with several other fruits, okay? So I'm going to repeat once again. Positive degree, it compares nothing. And comparative degree, it compares two things or two persons. And in superlative degree, it compares more than two things or two persons, okay? So here are the rules of, degrees of comparison. So the first one, don't use double comparatives and superlatives. For example, more, longer, most, longest. Now we can't use that, okay? If we want to say this, for example, this paper is longer than another paper. No, we're not using more, longer. This paper is more longer than our paper because that will be double comparative. And same goes with most, longest, okay? And the second one, if there are two things, use the comparative degree. Okay, as I said from before, comparative degree is to compare two things, okay? Words which can be compared. There are actually words that we can't compare. Not every word we can use to compare. Like for example, dead and single. It doesn't make sense if we want to compare this word, okay? So this you have to keep in mind in this dead and single because as you can see, English has so many exceptions. So you have to memorize it by yourself because English exceptions just not a new thing. And then here are more examples. You see there are positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. You can see the differences here. In positive degree, they don't use any suffix or whatsoever. So it's just sweet, big, fast, tall, difficult, beautiful. No suffix, okay? It's different from comparative degree. They use suffixes er. So we just add er. Sweeter, bigger, faster, taller. So in superlative degree, we also use another suffix, est. The sweetest, the biggest, the fastest, the tallest, and there are a few exceptions here. We use more and most. More difficult, more beautiful, most difficult, most beautiful. Because if we want to add, for example, difficulter, then it wouldn't make any sense. So we use more instead. More difficult, more beautiful. So there's no such thing as difficulter, beautifuler. No, that's wrong, okay? That sounds weird, right? And there's no such thing as difficultest and beautifulest. So we use more difficult, more beautiful, the most difficult, and the most beautiful. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so this one is a small exercise. The question is, can you choose which one is the correct one? Wait, okay, sorry. Okay, now you know the answer, I guess. Okay. Now there are two sentences. These apples are more tastier than those. And these apples are tastier than those. So anyone would like to tell me which one is the correct one? Yes, Brigas?
These apples are tastier than those.
Can you perhaps give me a reason why it's the correct one?
Ya, udah kelihatan. I don't know, just feel. Apa ya?
It feels more natural. Is that what you want to say?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to help you for this one. So you're right. The answer is these apples are tastier than those. as I said from before, the rules of degrees of comparison, we're not using two comparative degrees, okay? So this one, more tastier, it's wrong. We don't use more anymore because there's already ER, tastier. So we omit the more. So it's only, these apples are tastier than those, okay? Do you understand? Okay, very good. So this one is the summary. So I'm going to give you a more simple explanation. So to make it simple, positive degree, we are just describing the adjective itself. Remember, we are not comparing anything in positive degree. And in comparative degree, we are comparing two things. Okay, remember, two things. We use suffix er, and if we want to say something like beautiful, we don't say beautifuler, we don't say yes, beautifuler, we use more beautiful. And in superlative degree, we use est and most. Okay, we don't say beautifulest, but we say most beautiful. Okay, there are exceptions in that. So in superlative degree, we compared more than two persons or things. Okay, so remember, positive degree, don't compare anything. Comparative degree, compare two things. And superlative degree, compare more than two things. Okay, just to make it simple. Now let's take a look at these sentences. All right. Now this one, I have 5 sentences. Your question is harder than the teacher's. I am the happiest bride in the world. I think your sister is more beautiful than the last time I saw her. I believe you can do better than that. And the lion is a wild animal. Now what I want you to do is, I want you to decide which one is the positive degree, which one is comparative degree, and which one is superlative degree. So I think I'm going to choose from one of you. So I'm going to start from Deram. So can you please do number 1? Is it positive, or is it comparative, or is it superlative? What do you think?
Comparative degree.
Okay, we'll see about that. And what about Bragas? Number 2, can you do number 2?
Superlative.
Superlative, okay, we'll see later. And Nofi, can you do number 3?
Comparative degree.
Okay. And Kiran, can you do number 4?
Comparative degree.
Okay. And how about Devi, number 5?
I think that is positive degree.
Okay. Okay, now all of your answers are correct. Very good. Good job. You understand the material. Very good. Very smart. Okay. So this one is a big group activity. So what we're going to do is I've prepared something for you. So we're going to fill in the blank. But this one, we don't just write it, but we have to attach this. Sorry, it's a bit hard here. Attach some of the paper. I have prepared actually a bunch of this adjectives like pretty, prettier, and prettiest, and I have provided some options. You can choose whether you have to complete it with pretty, prettiest, or prettier. Okay, do you understand what we're going to do now?
Yes.
Okay, now maybe you can make a circle and we're going to do a big group activity. Okay, I've checked all of your answers here, and all of your answers are correct. Congratulations. Very good. Good job to all of you. This proves that all of you have already understood about comparison degree, okay? So after big group activity, we have another exercise, okay? So this one is pretty simple. All you have to do is to write some sentences. So I want you to write just 2 sentences. You can choose from positive degree, you can choose from comparative degree, or you can write a superlative degree. It depends on you what you want to write. Only 2 sentences, okay? So I give you 5 minutes for this one. You can start the exercise now. Okay, students, have you finished your exercise? Have you written 2 sentences? Yeah. Okay, very good. So I want all of you to collect the paper to the front of the class, please. Just give it to me. I'm going to see if the
Mana situ deh?
Okay, we're going to see if these sentences are correct. I'm going to put it later to see your sentences, and I'm going to add this score to be one of your points for this class. Okay, so the next one is homework. I'm going to give you homework, so you're not coming home without nothing. So this homework, all you have to do is to write a paragraph about yourself using 3 different degrees of comparison. So remember, there are 3 degrees of comparison. What's the first one?
Positive degree.
Yes, positive degree, and then the second one?
Comparative
degree.
Yes, very good. And then the last one?
Superlative degree.
Very good. Okay, so I repeat, you write a paragraph, just one paragraph about yourself using 3 different degrees of comparison. Okay? So this will be collected by the next of the class, which is the next Monday, okay? And you need to collect it to your class president, and if you don't collect this homework, then there will be a consequence for you. I'm going to decrease your score, okay? So remember to collect this homework because it affects your score a lot. Okay, so this is the end of the lesson. Thank you for joining my class. See you on the next lesson.